Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round number 4 of coverage here from Darksphere London for the Modern Regional Pro Tour Qualifier. Now, we have a bit of a doozy in the feature match area this time round. Two, as you would refer to, staple decks of the format, reasonably old school. They've been around for a very long time. On one side of the table, we have Jund.
Yep.
On the other side of the table, we have Splinter Twin. And it is the straight blue-red Splinter Twin. No flashy splashes, just straight blue and red spells. No Tarmogoyfs, no Kolaghan's commands, no Task of the Golden Fangs.
This was an interesting matchup. When it used to just be blue-red twin, this used to be quite a difficult matchup.
Deck lists have arrived. Thank you very much. Which one do you want to take?
Twin.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Yeah, these are ones. Which do you want? Jund or...
I'll take Jund.
You'll take... Okay, I'll take Splinter Twin then. Right, so... We will send it on down to feature match area. We'll have a little bit of a chat about the match. Players are just shuffling up at the moment, and we'll have a bit of a chat about what we expect to see from round number 4 of coverage here from today. So, Ioannis on your left on Jund, Dennis on your right on blue-red Splinter Twin. So, obviously, the benefit of playing blue-red over, say, any of the other colours is you get to play a few more of the utility lands. You get to play 2 Tectonic Edge, a Ghost Quarter. He has decided not to play, say, Cavern of Souls, or does also one of the painful things. There's no copy of the Desolate Lighthouse. So this is one of those things. So obviously we've got the usual 4, and also another very interesting thing. This man has gone for 4 Pestamite and 2 Deceiver Exarchs. So he's gone the opposite way round to what most people have done. 2 Vendilion Clicks, 2 Grim Lava Matter, 4 Snapcaster Mage, then we've got 3 Remand, 2 Izzet Charms, which I like a lot, a Cryptic Command, a Dispel, a Sleight of Hand, 4 Serum Visions, 2 Peak, for those who don't know, is an instant, 1 blue, look at target player's hand, draw a card. Nice and simple, see what you're playing. 4 Lightning Bolt, 1 Harvest Pyre, and 1 Dismember. So, players going to look at their openers. We can see 1 land, Serum Visions for Dennis. He also has a copy of Peak, a Remand, and Splinter Twin, so he's going to be on the draw. Dennis is going to play off with the Jund deck. So we see nice draw there for Dennis. It finds a Misty Rainforest.
We
start off with a
pretty reasonable Jund list. 4 Tarmogoyf, 4 Dark Confident, 4 Liliana, 4 Lightning Bolt. He's only opted for 2 Abrupt Decays here, which is very interesting.
Okay.
3 Kolaghan's Command, very powerful card. 3
Just
Terminate.
A nice bit of value.
Yep. 3 Terminate, 2 Thoughtseize, 4 Inquisition, 1 Tasiga, the Golden Fang, 1 copy of Huntmaster of the Fells.
Okay.
Interesting card from Dark Ascension. Flip card. We'll get it up on the screen for you.
We will pull that up for us all, so we can have a look. And this is going to be one of the differences with what we will see with the Jund deck over, say, the Abzan deck, is that instead of getting Path to Exile, you have instead Terminate, which is obviously black-red, destroy target creature at instant speed, as we see Huntmaster of the Fells. Come on camera, 2 red-green, 2/2, gain 2 life, put 2/2 into play, and then if you play no spells, you transform it into a Ravager of the Fells, which is 4/4 trample. Whenever it flips, deal 2 to target player and up to 1 creature they control. It's obviously just a very nice value engine for the deck. So,
yes.
one of the things with playing Jund is you get Terminate, which is 2 mana, nice removal to everything, Primeval Titans, all that, but doesn't give your opponent any value like Path to Exile does, but it is slightly more expensive. It is double colour, and then obviously you also get Kolaghan's Command, which is nice, a very good standard staple. It's been good in standard, and it's been probably even better in modern as well.
Indeed.
Obviously, with the ability to regrow your Tarmogoyfs, regrow your Dark Confidants, make them discard a card, shock one of their things, regrow any of your, even in Grixis Twin, regrow your Splinter Twin pieces in terms of the Deceiver Exarch and Pestamite. So we see a peak on the end step. Dark Confidant resolving from Ioannis, the Modern Masters version rather than the original one.
Interesting as well to note that Kolaghan's Command has actually replaced Electrolyze in Twin in the Grixis versions. So before they would used to run maybe 1 or 2 Electrolyze, but they've replaced that now with Kolaghan's Command. The versatility of it is just a lot better. It's, you know, you're always going to be having 2 modes with Kolaghan's Command, and usually pretty good modes, you know. So,
but yeah. So one of the things to note from the matchup is generally, especially pre-board, the Jund deck has probably a reasonably good matchup against the Splinter Twin deck, just because you're playing removal spells, you've got Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Terminate. You've got a decent clock with Tarmogoyf. You've also got Liliana as Disruption, and here we see the hand. We see Pestamite, Serum Visions, Lightning Bolt, Splinter Twin. So he has both parts of the Splinter Twin combo in hand, but unfortunately no land to do with yet. So this is actually quite an interesting hand to take from, and you can see Ioannis just trying to have a think about what he wants to do. This hand's actually quite hard to pick holes in. You could take the Splinter Twin and just say, well, you're not going to be doing that.
Remand here.
Yeah, the double Serum Visions.
I think the reason you take Remand is you just get to untap and you just get to slam a Tarmogoyf, and he's not going to be able to deal with this Tarmogoyf right now. You know, you then never actually have to tap out for the rest of the game, because your Lightning Bolts, if you ever have a Lightning Bolt, then you just get to kill whatever, and if you have a Abrupt Decay, then he can't. Like, at this point, he can't really combo, because if you don't tap out, he either has to go for it and hope, or, you know, he just decides not to and just tries to tempo him. And the more time that you have to try to stop him from...
Yeah, so that's an interesting pick that he decides to go for the to go for the Pestamite over the Remand. Obviously, if he doesn't have anything necessary to follow up with, it's not a terrible place to start. So, in with Dark Confidant. Dennis down to 17. We'll see if...
And, you know, we were talking about this earlier. The Jund and the Junk decks really shine when they're allowed to play multiple spells a turn. And we were talking earlier about how strong Remand is, and how, you know, it's almost like a time walk. Obviously, on the draw, not as much, but even so, you know, it's still really powerful. And, you know, he's going to play this Tarmogoyf, most likely, but it's just going to get remanded.
Mm-hmm. Is it not that he might just be trying to power through all of these, through the remand, and just saying, well, I can play this Tarmogoyf this turn and go next turn? But I do agree, it feels like maybe the remand is not in a position where it's quite so good. So we see fetch land into Ravnica Shocklands. Hopefully we will soon be see if Tarmogoyf gets played, and then obviously go from there. We see Liliana in hand, Scavenging Ooze, double Tarmogoyf and another land, and, well, he's going to go for it. He's going to cast a Tarmogoyf. Imagine that Dennis will snap off this remand, get an extra card, look a bit deeper in his deck, see if he can find the lands, and see if he can proceed forward from there. So remand, target Tarmogoyf, counter, put it back in your hand, draw a card, and we see land number 3 roll off the top. So, see Cryptic Command come off the top as well.
And that was one of the cards that we're talking about that's just premium removal.
Yeah.
The premium counterspell, you know. Pick any 2 of 4 modes, really strong modes. You know, this is what the twin deck wants to be doing. It wants to play this control game that gets to the point where it just combos off with a twin.
So, tap an island, see Serum Visions. So, draw, find our 4th land. So we have the lands in check. So we'll see if he shows them up slightly to camera. But 1 top, 1 bottom. So he now has the 4 lands ready for Splinter Twin. Now he just needs to see if he can find it. Interesting he went for it that way, because obviously now he can't crack the fetch land with leaving it on top. So, see if he decides anything else, where he just simply passes the turn back, whether he wants to leave his opponent with a Dark Confidant in play. Dark Confidant just providing the extra card advantage. Double check how many cards are in hand from the peak, see what his opponent's drawn from there. So, decisions. Ioannis down to 11 still, so he's taken a fair amount of damage so far from the deck. Fetch lands, Dark Confidant triggers, all starts to add up after a while. And whether he... Dennis is going to pass the turn back, trigger the Dark Confidant, revealing a Lightning Bolt. No? Nice draw there.
That's a good one. That's what Dennis wants. Ioannis wants. He wants the Lightning Bolt for the Pestamite. He knows about the Pestamite in Dennis's hand.
Which he got rid of. And leaving him with a Snapcaster Mage. Oh, he had 2, sorry.
Oh, did he have 2?
He had Snapcaster Mage. But again, it's really good removal. It's just this efficiency that the Jund deck is trying to play. Trying to go down the line of try and do this, see if I can get it. And it'll be interesting to see if Dennis goes for the lightning bolt now and whether he maybe should have done it his turn, or whether he's trying to rep that he has another copy of Raman. But with a scry to the top and the bottom, I'm fairly sure Ioannis is just happy to start jamming spells into his opponent's hand at the moment. So we see, unfortunately, he's got Overgrown Tomb in hand. See if he goes for the Liliana, leaving up the lightning bolt in reserve. So let's see where he goes from there. Tarmogoyf, good place to start. Land, sorcery, creature. 3/4 already with a peak. Actually, it's a 4/5. So he's got land, instant, creature, sorcery, or in the graveyard. See, double Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big clock. You know, that's 10 power on the board.
We're seeing Yuri put in the dice at the side, so it will be it's a 4/5. We'll try and get it put the other way around for those of you at home.
Bolt upstairs.
Yeah, Bolt says he is on a low amount of life. Obviously, I mean that could be the other way Dennis gets out of this one. He goes for that, but the Tarmogoyf's under a lot of pressure. But Bob can unfortunately kill off Ioannis as well. So
I think Dennis right now is hoping to draw a bolt off the top. It allows him to
the game.
A bolt. Oh no, he needs a bolt and a land, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think he has the land in hand.
Oh, does he have a land in hand?
I think he has a land in hand, and it'll be interesting to see because he did scry one to the top, but he's going to go away from the scry. He's going to go. So the card he scry to the top now going to get shuffled into the rest of the deck. So, quick shuffle up. We see Steam Vent again. So obviously Dark Confidant, fetch lands, all do damage, and now we're going to see if he can just finish it off with a lightning bolt and Snapcast Mage. It'll be very interesting to see because if that Dark Confidant flips anything relevant, it's going to be unfortunately straight over. And
anything over 2.
Steal. Yeah. Dennis might steal this game, which could be a interesting thing. So trigger the Dark Confidant. We reveal a land off the top. So Ioannis escapes for the turn. Doesn't get put down to 3 life. Stays at 5. But now it'd be interesting to see. Fortunately, he has the lightning bolt in hand, so we can deal with any Snapcaster Mage on the end step. But actually, depending on what Dennis does, he could just Dennis could be dead this turn as well.
Yeah.
So turn everything sideways.
He's got this. He's got the Cryptic Command.
So
he can bounce.
Gotta love that
tap
card.
all of the creatures.
Gotta love Cryptic Command.
Ioannis has, and then. I mean, it does allow Ioannis to basically resolve whatever he wants.
Probably will start with the Liliana.
Yeah, but I think at this point he's at such a low life total that
he could Liliana Edict himself, get rid of the Dark Confidant.
Yeah, I mean, I think you prefer just bolting your Dark Confidant at this point, probably. But I mean, yeah, even so, Edict is probably.
He's going to say go to combat anyway. That's probably the best place to start. Go to combat. Go from there. So. Put the onus on Dennis. Let him make the first move, so you have the most information around. So go to combat. Dennis is going to crack his fetch land down to 10. So we go from there, and with the Snapcaster Mage still in Dennis's hand, it could be very, very beneficial for him. This Cryptic Command. It could draw him into the win if he finds a bolt, or it draws him into another turn to use the Snapcaster Mage.
Yep.
So you see 5 cards in hand for Dennis. Again, he cast a Peak, which replaces itself. Serum Vision effectively replaces himself. So, quick shuffle up. Obviously, one of the main things that we have to remember in Modern is you have to put the stop on. There are quite a lot with the amount of fetch lands that get cracked, especially with the printing of all the Khan's fetches. Yeah. Do a lot of shuffling in Modern, and now Standard as well.
Yeah.
One of the nice things with Dennis's deck, he plays very few straight. Sorry, I'm trying to obviously think. He plays very few duels because obviously he's allowed to play Sulphur Falls. He can play Basic Island, Basic Mountain, so he's less at the mercy of the pain from his Painlands because he's Strainblade Red. So we see Cryptic Command. You're going to choose the mode of tap your team, draw a card, and drawing the extra cards, or he could bounce a Tarmogoyf, but again, he's just not getting him anywhere. He needs to find the pieces for the puzzle.
He needs a lightning bolt at this point.
So he's going to draw. He is going to draw. So he finds a Sleight of Hand. Not a bad card. Serum Vision, Sleight of Hand.
Not what he wants.
Yeah.
But
and it's also discardable to Liliana.
Yeah.
If that's the route that Ioannis has to go down. But Ioannis has got to start thinking, how on earth do I not kill myself. Because he
Pretty much.
still knows about the Snapcaster Mage.
Yes.
And earlier in the game, when he thought seize, the Snapcaster Mage was still there, and maybe Snapcaster Mage was an option as a thought seize target as well as the Remand. So he's going to have a quick look, double check what he has and hasn't got. So, separate up his mana. See Raging Ravine. Tap 2. Be interesting to see what he goes for. So he's deep in the tank at this point. This is quite a difficult decision to make actually, because he knows the bolt's gone, but he knows his opponent has a Snapcaster Mage.
Yes.
And
he's trying to work out what sequence of plays will give him the most chance of winning, and I think you might actually be right of Lily Edict myself. Lily Edict himself. Get rid of
Liliana of the Veil, -2.
Yep.
Target myself. But he's going to go for a Scavenging Ooze. Interesting.
Interesting. So this way he gets to eat the lightning bolt, which means that he's not just dead to snap a lightning bolt off the top.
He's going to bolt the Bob.
Bolt
Not
the
maybe sure if this is the line he wanted. Maybe the Liliana would be better and more mana efficient. But he does go to 6, but bolt off the top still does it.
Yep. So let's see. Now I think
he has lightning bolt.
I think if you're Dennis, you
he
just
has lightning
pass
bolt
the
in
turn.
hand.
You just pass the turn. You let your opponent react, because your opponent has to. If
He
your
has,
opponent
but he has the kill now. He has bolt in
he
hand.
just has the bolt. Of course.
Bolt.
No, because he needs the Scavenging Ooze. Because
Yeah,
otherwise
so he waits for the scav. No, because yes, he eats it in response. Yeah, sorry, I agree. I agree. Sorry, mums. So yeah, so see what his opponent does. So we see lightning bolt target. Ooh, interesting play. We're going to see the lightning bolt target the Scavenging Ooze. Interesting. A very interesting choice to play. So it's whether he should have just said go and see what Ioannis does. Because Ioannis doesn't know about that lightning bolt.
No.
And could have gone for it on the end step to activate the Scavenging Ooze.
Exactly, and also by passing the turn, Dennis represents a cryptic command.
Because at the moment he is at 10. Ioannis doesn't have the lightning bolt though, which is the interesting part of this. He doesn't have the lightning bolt in hand anymore, so let's wait and see. And we could just see the Ambush Viper Snapcaster Mage on the end step, which is 5 points of damage. So you can see him just deciding what he wants to eat. For game 2 we'll try and get the graveyards brought in, and the deck brought down the page so we can all see it. So we see the lightning bolt being eaten thereby, and we're going to see untapped double Tarmogoyf. We'll see fetch land drawn. But he can now activate the Raging Ravine as well. There's a Snapcaster Mage obviously in hand, and
Yep, there is the Snapcaster Mage, and he can block one of the Tarmogoyfs.
Put Ioannis down to 2 with the lightning bolt if he so chooses to do that.
The Tarmogoyfs are 4, so he'd go to 3.
But he can snap bolt if he decides to play the Snapcaster Mage. It depends on if Ioannis wants to fire up the Raging Ravine and attack for effectively lethal damage. So we're just going to quickly get the cards moved down. No, other way. That's it. There we go. There we go. Got it the right way around this time. So we'll try and get. Yeah, we'll have a look at. We're trying to obviously keep it in play. Players move mats around and stuff, so it's one of those things. So just one Tarmogoyf attacking this time round. Obviously respecting Snapcaster Mage.
Both.
No, both in. Which will be interesting because right now, if Ioannis just goes, okay, take 8.
If Dennis does, yeah.
If Dennis just says, sure, take 8 in your end step, snap bolt you, untap, do you for 2. But he has a Scavenging Ooze, so there is a follow-up play, fortunately. There is a Scavenging Ooze in Ioannis' hand, and obviously that will help do a lot of work of keeping him out of range. But it's just one of those things that Dennis is just doing his best, trying to find his way back in.
Yeah, and I think Snapcaster Mage, flashback, lightning bolt.
Yep. So this resolves, target my lightning bolt, bolt you, put you to 2.
Yeah, but then
the Scavenging Ooze is now active, and there's a Scavenging Ooze, a Dark Confidant also in the graveyard as well.
And a Pestamite.
As well.
So that's 3 life. So he back up on 5. Which
maybe this comes back to Dennis being a bit hasty with his use of the lightning bolt, and maybe he says, Ioannis, you'll go. Show me what you can do with your... Because if Ioannis goes to activate straight away, it's just like Snap Bolt. But we should see. Snapcaster Mage in. Dennis at 2. Ioannis at 5, and a lot of damage done by Ioannis' thing. So we've didn't... interesting. So Dennis decided not to use the lightning bolt straight away. So now he has Scavenging Ooze, which can eat in response. There's a lightning bolt in the graveyard still.
No. He's targeted the lightning bolt with his Snapcaster. Which means if
the Scavenging Ooze is now resolved.
Yes, but the lightning bolt still.
He's got it, but he doesn't get any value out of it, and he's going to eat the Pestamite. Go up to 6. You see the lightning bolt there on top. It depends what he targeted. We can see another tap. Let's make my guy bigger. Take one of my cards. It doesn't affect the size of the Tarmogoyf. He still has enough creatures. He's going to exile the Dark Confidant. Go to 7. Scavenging Ooze is now a 4/4.
Yep.
And go from there. So we might see the bolt flashback on the end step, and it's just starting to slip away slightly from Dennis, and maybe it's a little bit hasty, but perhaps not at the same time. See, they are the ones that have made their way to this stage rather than us. So, lightning bolt upstairs. Ioannis down to 4. What can you draw, Dennis? What does the top of your deck yield? A Splinter Twin.
Unfortunately, is not enough.
Unfortunately not. So we see Is It Charm off the top. We see Dismember and a land. And so Dennis will decide whether he wants to keep those or put them away.
I think you just have to put them both at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right now, he wants to find something to deal with this
lethal
board.
Attack next turn.
Yeah, and I don't think there is anything, unfortunately.
No. So, no. Dennis seen enough, can't find anything, packs it away for game number 1. So, Ioannis, Jund, 1-0 up. Probably to the books, what you imagine to see, but it was a lot closer than it could have been normally. A lot of pain dealt by Ioannis' mana base, Bolt, Dark Confidant, and also the Lightning Bolt as well.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he dealt 12 damage to himself without a single Lightning Bolt without anything being cast, without any spells from Dennis. Eventually going to 5, but Scavenging Ooze there really bringing that game back. So, onto the sideboard. So, from Ioannis, we have 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 3 Fulminator Mage, 1 Ancient Grudge, 1 Knight of Soul's Betrayal, 1 Golgari Charm, 1 Maelstrom Pulse, 1 Abrupt Decay, 1 Engineered Explosives, 1 Obstinate Baloth, 3 Kitchen Finks, and 1 Duress. So I'm thinking we are looking at the 1 Duress, the 1 Knight of Soul's Betrayal, probably the 1 Golgari Charm, definitely the 1 Abrupt Decay out of Ioannis' board, and I believe John has just gone to make sure that the players are playing in the right area, so we can easily see.
Right, so what have we found so far that we could add in?
Knight of Soul's Betrayal,
because,
Golgari
so
Charm.
obviously I just need to actually remind myself exactly what
Knight of
the
Soul's
Knight
Betrayal
of
does.
Souls. I'm going to see if this will work straight away. There we go. Knight of Soul's Betrayal. Just for those who are less familiar with the 4-mana legendary enchantment as well, so you can't play multiples of these, but it's very simple. All creatures get -1/-1. Now, Pestamite is a 2/1.
Yep.
Deceiver Exarch is a 1/4.
Yep.
Admittedly, your Deceiver Exarch's still alive, but you can't suit up the Splinter Twin because the copies don't do anything at that point. You can make 1,000,000 blockers.
Yep.
You just can't ever do any
Exactly.
damage. But Soul's Betrayal, 2 black, legendary enchantment, all creatures get -1/-1, and it does your own as well, so obviously your Dark Confidence will be removed as well. But they can't combo through it, which is important.
Golgari Charm, again, -1/-1 to all creatures, destroy an enchantment. An Abrupt Decay kills creatures, Pestamites, and
also
Deceiver Exarch.
can't be countered, which
Can't
is
be
the
countered,
important
yep.
part. So
And
no
a Duress.
dispels or anything like that.
and
Okay.
1 duress.
Okay, so on the other side of the table, we have 2 Molten Rain, a Jace Architect of Thought, an Engineered Explosives, an Izzet Staticaster, a Spellskite, 1 Karanos God of the Storms, 1 Negate, 2 Dispel, 1 Anger of the Gods, 2 Ancient Grudge, a Wormcoil Engine, and a Relic of Progenitus. Now, the ones that stand out for me are the quite expensive ones in Jace, Karanos, and the Wormcoil Engine. Now, it might sound weird to bring the Wormcoil Engine in, but it has to be removed, and it's very hard for Jund to kill a Wormcoil engine.
It's very difficult for Jund to deal with a Wormcoil engine.
It's a 6/6 for a start.
I also like the Keranos here.
Of course, just trying to get the card advantage. Can't be removed by Ioannis at all. He doesn't have any of the sideboard cards that would normally deal with it.
No, and the Relic.
Okay, obviously making Tarmogoyf so not one now. Also at the side, the Engineered Explosives, there's a lot of 2-mana spells in Ioannis' deck, and obviously some of the spells that are not so good in the main, things like maybe he wants to go away from the peaks a little bit, maybe he wants to take out the Harvest Pyre. Harvest Pyre may be better than Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt not as incredible because Tarmogoyf can normally get out range quite quickly, but it's the way of winning, whereas Harvest Pyre is not.
Definitely the 2 Grim Lava
But the Lava Monsters, well, sometimes not. Sometimes again, it's a way of shrinking the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, it depends as well. In this matchup, a lot of Twin players like to play a more control-y route, so they sort of take out some of the combo.
Okay, so we might see some number of the Splinter Twins come out as well to make room for some of these spells. But the Negate I like as well. Countering Liliana, it's always a good place to start. Yes. But we will find out very soon. The players are laying out their 7 for game number 2. Dennis will, I imagine, be on the play. Normally Modern, unless you're in the proper control mirror, always choose to be on the play. So, let's see what we find in this one. Ioannis not happy. He seemed like he actually had the pieces that he wanted.
But no lands.
He had an Abrupt Decay in hand. He had 1 land, but maybe not enough. Maybe no pressure, which is what you still need against Splinter Twin deck. You don't want to give Splinter Twin too long to get going, because they have Karanos and Jason. They're both very hard to answer. So, quick pile. Do it, and then we will be on to number 2. So we'll have a quick look, let the camera go. So the Grim Lava Monster is still in the deck for the Splinter Twin player. We have at least 1 Snapcaster Mage, a Grim Lava Monster, Dennis trying to do his best to keep his hand, and Tectonic Edge. So obviously colourless land in the opener, not always the best you can have.
The Blue-Red Twin can manage a colourless land, and also Tectonic Edge is pretty good. Ioannis runs quite a few targets. He runs the Raging Ravines and the Treetop Villages. Yeah. Very, very good.
And a very easy mulligan as well. 6 cards, no lands. So thanks very much. Put that one back in the deck.
Unfortunate for Ioannis, but
yeah, it's never nice when you draw up a 6 and it's got no lands in it. But down to 5, you will always see a better 5, even though that hand would look incredible. It's not going to be able to be playable. No. So let's see what the 5 bring for Ioannis. Dennis obviously happy with his 7. He's sitting comfortable, waiting to go for game 2 of round number 4 with a regional Pro Tour qualifier. So 5 of the finest cards for Ioannis, plus a Scry. So we see Land, Abrupt Decay, Dark Confidant, Land, and Liliana, and that is a Bloodstained Mire as well. So he is able to cast his spells. He scries 1. He is able to also cast everything apart from the Liliana is castable. So we see Grim Lava Monster to start off with. Dennis probably dropping down. We'll drop down to 17 to play this. And we see
interesting to note as well, Dennis is not actually playing any copies of Blood Moon.
So we see the Nile Spellbomb coming in as well. So that's very interesting. Obviously, maybe an answer at Snapcaster Mage. Obviously, when you tap it, it exiles target player's graveyard, and if you spend a black mana, you may draw a card as well. So, pass back, 2 mana. We see Molten Rain having come in from Dennis as well. So he's on land destruction this game. He's got 2 pieces of land destruction ready in hand, 2 mana pass. Obviously, he has the Snapcaster Mage, maybe with an Ambush Viper. We see the Bloodstained Mire. We see a Blood Crypt off the top. So maybe we'll see a Dark Confidant here. And we also have the ability to next turn play Liliana as well. So a nice curve for Ioannis here. And one of the powerful things about Jund, so efficient the spells, able to go 1, 2, 3, 4 very quickly, however you choose to go through your 1-drop. So he's going to see, is he going to sacrifice it? He could go fetch up a Swamp here as well, try and reduce the amount of life he's losing. Grim Lava Monster did attack for 1. Not enough stuff in the graveyard yet to be fueling the Grim Lava Monster. But we do see... So one of the very interesting things as well is Ioannis is, without realising it, playing around the Molten Rain.
Yes.
He can still lose a land, but he won't lose any life.
No, it targets non-basic.
So at the moment he's actually playing around the card in Dennis's hand with the Molten Rain. So without realising it, which is always a funny thing, but obviously when you're playing against straight blue-red, you would normally assume that they would have Blood Moon in the sideboard.
Yep.
Now Dennis doesn't have any copies
No.
of Blood Moon, so Ioannis maybe hurting himself a little bit with the fetching of his lands because he's obviously not able to cast all the spells he wants to, but at the same time he's in a good position. So we see the ambush, we see the Snapcaster Mage with no value just played in, deciding that Dennis wasn't doing anything, so might as well get into play now. So we see the untap and the draw. Another land rolls off the top. We see a fetch land, so we're going to see the in for 3. We might see the Abrupt Decay fired off here, targeting the Snapcaster Mage. But Dennis being on the play here has been quite beneficial. He's on 1 drop, 2 drop, and he's now able to start attacking us down. We saw in last game, Ioannis did a lot of damage to himself.
Yeah. And that's the thing with this Jund deck, is it takes quite a lot of damage from its own fetches, shocks, and stuff like Dark Confident. And sorry, I stand corrected. It's destroy target land, and if it's not basic.
We will pull it up for all you viewers at home.
I thought it was you could only target.
Well, I think you can
non-basics.
destroy target land. Destroy target land, if
Right.
that is non-basic, it deals 2 damage. So he's still going to lose one of his lands, but it's not going to be quite as painful as it could have been. He's going to float the green, and he'll probably use the Abrupt Decay on the end step, probably get rid of the Grim Lava Monster, and then see where we go from there. It's hard because obviously being on the draw means he can't then go into the Liliana. So you can see the Abrupt Decay here, ready to be fired off. And maybe Dennis is going down this line because he knows his opponent mulligan to 5. He's just trying to punish the draw sets. Maybe he doesn't have any more lands. We'll get rid of the Grim Lava Monster with the Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, he's also trying to get him off green, which is very important.
So we see a Duress roll off the top. So we're going to...
I think you have to Duress
so we're
here.
going to cast Duress here. We're going to see a hand of land Jace, Architect of Thought. So Jace hitting the bin, a very timely hit there, because now if he can draw a third land, at least his Lilianas are online as well, and he knows his opponent is working with two lands at the moment. So we can see Blood Crypton's play, pass the turn back. 17 plays 15 off the top. There is a spell. It seems like a Pestamite, which again, nice upkeep target, in for 2. And it doubles the clock. And this is another way that the Splinter Twin deck can play. In the upkeep, well, in the draw step, we're going to... in either upkeep or draw step, we're going to tap down your Blood Crypt.
I expect in the upkeep, so even if he draws something like a Terminate or a Bolt, he can't actually use it.
So he might now use the black mana to crack that, draw a card. So he's going to activate the Null Spell Bomb. In response, Dennis is going to crack his land, fetch a land out of his deck, and play a black, tap a black, using the black mana, to the benefit of being able to then draw a card in addition to getting rid of his opponent's graveyard, turning off Snapcaster Mage a little bit more as we see Overgrown Tomb, the draw step off of that, and then obviously we'll move on to the draw step for the turn. A couple of cards, always nice, just keep the Jund deck rolling over. But Dennis now at 4 mana, although there's a land in hand, and obviously he has the Tectonic Edge in hand, so we see Terminate off the top as well. So good time to use the Pestamite. So
he wouldn't have actually drawn it this turn.
no. So we see 2 mana and Dark Confidant into play.
Now,
Draw for the turn. We see another land. So we see probably the Tectonic Edge come down now. He's going to block here. Ioannis could not block fast enough in that situation.
And he's fine with that because he gets to untap and hopefully make Liliana.
Yeah. So draw for the turn. Blackleaf Cliffs. Well, it's a land. So
I
we're
don't
going
think he wants it though.
No. So we're going to probably end up seeing the Liliana here.
If he doesn't play it, he can't get screwed off green.
So
at the
let's see if the Liliana resolves. Yes, Liliana is in.
Edict.
-2.
This, please.
Dennis, please sacrifice one of your creatures or your
Ooh.
only creature.
See, I really dislike playing this land here because it allows
So we're gonna
Dennis
see
to
the
actually
resolve.
keep Ioannis off green mana.
So
He doesn't need double black. He's got double black.
Dennis playing that land strikes. I'm not a fan of that because I think he drew maybe a Cryptic Command.
Right.
And if Liliana decides to uptick, well, the Cryptic Command's losing whatever he did. And I think at this point of view, Ioannis, you just go uptick my Liliana, play this land. Wow. Wow. Okay, so.
Oh, it was a Dismember.
So he plays the land in favour of keeping the Terminate. So he loses the Terminate, but they're both drawn off the top. So that's a good draw. Raging Ravine. Please discard your card. Then we see Remand. Pass the turn back.
Let me see.
We're going to Tectonic Edge or Raging Ravine. Oh, that's a good use of that to keep away the clock. So pass the turn back to Ioannis. So we're going to draw for the turn. Huntmaster of the Fells.
Wow.
However, we'll see if there is a card in hand. So what did you draw, Dennis? Oh, Huntmaster is in.
Huntmaster has
Ioannis
resolved.
to 11. 2/2 Wolf on the way. A nice additional blocker. So 2-2, and we'll in response we will cast a Pester Mine. Oh, tap your land down.
Oh,
Tap the top of your deck, Dennis.
Kept
Oh,
twins in.
has he kept any in? Because right now, the Splinter Twin would be a good choice. He's looking at a Molten Rain. That will kill the Liliana, which is an interesting thing here because he can Molten Rain the land, attack the Liliana for 2, and I don't dislike that. You've got to get that Liliana off the table. You can try and get back in someone. See the Molten Rain. He's still at 16. You have a lot of turn, and also you stop the Huntmaster from flipping as well. So you're going to Molten Rain your your Overgrown Tomb. You take 2. You are down to 9 life. However,
he hasn't killed the Liliana.
No, so he decides not to. He decides to go upstairs. Inquisition. Well, don't mind discarding that one.
Not at all.
And flip my Huntmaster.
The question is, does he? Yeah, he has to discard this because the Huntmaster flips anyway and kills the Pester Mine.
Which is interesting. I wouldn't have mind getting rid of the Liliana. So with the Liliana, so we see Huntmaster of the Fells transforms into Ravager of the Fells. Deal you 2, and kill your Pester Mine, and leaving Dennis with not many options at the moment.
No, I think there's a discrepancy with their life total.
So they're just going to quickly check where they are with the life totals, and we will continue to watch this very, very interesting game. Some very interesting sideboard options have certainly come in.
Cards that I weren't expecting to.
Certainly wasn't expecting Molten Rain.
No.
Certainly was not expecting.
It's good. It has a lot of targets, but I'm not sure if it's good enough.
So we see a peek off the top. Well, let's roll the dice. Might as well play it. You're gonna have to play it now, sir. Let's have a look. Oh, no cards in hand. Right, draw. What do we get? We see Engineered Explosives.
Oh wow, for 0. And because Huntmaster has flipped, it's got 0 converting mana
cost. What a top deck!
That is
huge.
That is huge. That is exactly.
Oh, the Raging Ravine though.
Oh, this is
going backwards and forwards, top deck into top deck. We see another land off the top. See an Inquisition. That's not doing anything, but it's going to be discarded to Liliana. Let's fire up that Raging Ravine in for 4. Wow, that is an interaction that most people would not normally see. As you say, the Ravager flipping into Ravager of the Fells does nothing, and that, well, let's see what he draws.
I think he just drew a Bolt, which is actually a turn late.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, it wasn't actually going to matter.
See a Dark Confidant as well.
Yeah,
I don't think you want to do it. I think you just fire up the Ravine,
there's no
get in for 5.
I mean, you just take up Lily because of whatever he's got in hand, and then, you know, if he's... It doesn't really matter what he has.
Bolt.
Sure, Bolt you.
Go upstairs, down a 6.
Down to 6.
We see the explosives.
Wow. Discard. Yeah, discard this.
In for 5. Put you to 2, Dennis. What can you do here?
And, I mean, I don't know what Dennis can actually draw here.
Snapcaster Mage would be the best draw he had. But no, there we see the extension of the hand. Ioannis Dimitrakis marches on to 4-0.
Yep.
Jund defeats Blue Red
Splinter Twin. There you go. You see the power of this deck, of the Jund deck. You know, he molds to 5. He got Molten Rained on turn 3.
Got Molten Rain twice in that match.
And he's...
Wow.
I mean, the turn 3 Molten Rain was the big one.
That was huge.
But, you know, he still came back.
I must say, it was a very, very timely duress.
It was, yeah.
The duress to take the Jace Architect of Thought was... I think a very pivotal point in the game. Bear in mind that he left Dennis with 2 lands.
Yep.
I think had Dennis been able to resolve the Jace, I think he just buries Ioannis at that point under cards, and you always have those swings and roundabouts. It's one of the powers of duress. It takes the really important cards, and it's just one of those things. Unfortunate for Dennis, he will slip to 3-1, but well, still live for top 8. This is a 7-round tournament. We believe it will probably be very close to needing to be 6-1 to get into this top 8, but we shall see. But a very hard-fought game. We'll bring it back to the booth. John Partridge, Shea Holland. Another fantastic match of Magic. A few very interesting sideboard decisions, but a really, really close game number 2.
Yep.
Game number 2. We didn't get to 3. Unfortunately, duress stopped us getting there. And even on a multi 5, that Jund deck's so efficient with its mana, able to do things at every point in the first 3 turns and never really stumbling. And that was one of the powers that maybe that Dennis couldn't quite deal with.
Yep.
So we believe what we'll do is Shall we just have a quick look, see how much time we've got left on the round? The actual clock is right next to us. So if you just want to jump and do that, she'll just disappear off the camera. We'll actually find out how much time we've got left, because we'll have a chat about a few things if we have the time. We'll have a quick look at how much time's left on the round.
We have 10 minutes, I believe.
10 minutes. So we're going to take a quick break. For next round, what we'll do is, hopefully after the next round, there's only going to be maybe 1 or 2 players left undefeated in the room. So what we'll do is, we'll take a quick break now. We'll get prepped up for the next round. We'll put the next match on feature match. Whoever wins that, I think we should get them in here, have a quick chat.
Yep.
Because they'll still be X and O, and 5 and 0, they're almost there.
Yeah.
And there'll be very, very few people. I mean, going into this round, there was only 10 players on X and O. There were a couple of draws on 7 points, which offset the math slightly. But there'll be quite a few people on, not many people on X and O. So we'll get one of them in here, have a chat with them about why they chose their deck, especially for the regional protocol. It would be very interesting, because these players have qualified to get this event, so it's not just any old buddy turned up. They've earned their right to be here, and it'd be very interesting to find out why they're here. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back to bring you live coverage of round number 5 here for the regional protocol qualifier from Darksphere in London. John Price, Holland, and hopefully you will join us for another fantastic round of Magic very soon. Thank you very much for watching.